Have you ever noticed how just one small thing can ruin your entire day? Maybe someone made a careless comment, a coworker criticized you unfairly, or someone ignored your message. Suddenly, your mind keeps replaying it over and over. Your energy drops, your mood collapses, and it feels like that single moment has the power to destroy everything. Here's the truth. It doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to let every word, every look, or every rejection decide how you feel. And once you realize that, your whole life changes. In this video, I'm going to share 8 psychological secrets that every woman needs to know in order to protect her peace and build emotional strength. These are not abstract theories or feel-good phrases. They're practical, proven tools you can apply immediately to stop giving power to negativity, to stop reacting automatically, and to finally feel in control of your emotions. So if you're tired of being drained by criticism, frustrated by toxic people, or exhausted from carrying emotional weight that doesn't even belong to you, this message is exactly what you need. Let's dive in. One of the most powerful lessons you can learn is this: nothing is personal. Most of the things people say or do are not really about you. They're about them, their mood, their stress, their fears, their insecurities. But too often we take those words and treat them as the truth about who we are. Think about it. Someone snaps at you after a long day. Was it really about you, or was it about their exhaustion? Someone criticizes your choices. Does that define your worth? Or does it just reveal their limited perspective? When you stop assuming that everything is directed at you, you stop carrying unnecessary emotional baggage. Here's the key. You don't have to accept every label that someone throws at you. If someone calls you too much, difficult, or not enough, that doesn't make it true. You get to decide what to keep and what to return. It's like receiving a package. You can simply refuse delivery. And here's the freedom that comes with it. The moment you realize their reaction reflects their inner world, not your value, you stop wasting energy defending yourself. You respond with calm instead of anger. You protect your identity instead of questioning it. This doesn't mean you allow disrespect. It means you recognize the difference between setting boundaries and taking things personally. Their opinions belong to them. Your peace belongs to you. And the sooner you separate the two, the lighter your life becomes. Most problems don't come from what actually happens. They come from how we react in the moment. Someone says something rude and before you know it, you snap back. A disagreement starts and suddenly you're yelling or crying. Later you regret it, but by then the damage is done. Here's the truth. Your first reaction is usually your worst reaction. That's why learning to pause, even for a few seconds, changes everything. And the easiest way to pause is to breathe. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. The moment you feel anger rising, your chest tightening, or your pulse racing, stop. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds, hold it for 2, and exhale slowly through your mouth. This one small act interrupts the cycle of automatic reactions. Your body calms, your heart slows, and your brain shifts out of survival mode. Think of how many arguments, conflicts, and regrets could have been avoided with just 10 seconds of breathing. Instead of responding with anger, you can respond with clarity. Instead of saying something you'll regret, you can choose silence or a thoughtful answer. This isn't about ignoring problems. It's about choosing the best version of yourself before you respond. Breathing doesn't erase the challenge, but it gives you back control. And when you control your state, you control the outcome. Next time you feel triggered, remember this: not everything deserves an instant reaction. Give yourself the gift of a pause. Breathe first, respond later. When something bad happens, it's easy to fall into the victim mindset. You ask yourself, why me? What did I do to deserve this? And the more you repeat that question, the smaller and weaker you feel. Being the victim locks you into pain and helplessness. But here's a smarter approach. Stop asking, why me? And start asking, What can I learn from this? That's the observer mindset. Instead of drowning in frustration, you step back and see the bigger picture. The problem doesn't instantly vanish, but your perspective changes, and with perspective comes strength. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone you trusted deeply betrays you. As a victim, you'd keep replaying the unfairness, the hurt, the anger. As an observer, you might realize this betrayal taught you where to set boundaries, who not to trust blindly, and how to protect your energy in the future. Painful? Yes. But also a lesson that makes you wiser. The difference between the victim and the observer is simple. The victim asks, "Why did this happen to me?" The observer asks, "How can I grow from this?" One question keeps you stuck, the other moves you forward. Here's the bottom line. You can't always control what happens, but you can control the role you choose. Don't play the victim. Choose to be the observer. That's where strength, wisdom, and inner peace begin. Here's a truth that can completely change your life. Your emotions are your choice. As long as you believe that your mood depends on what other people say or do, you'll always be at their mercy. One compliment makes you happy, one criticism destroys you. That's exhausting, and it gives away all your power. Instead, start repeating this mantra. I decide how I feel. It sounds simple, but it's a game changer. Imagine someone criticizes you. You have two options. Option 1, believe it, carry it, and let it ruin your day. Option 2, stop. Ask yourself if their words are even true, and if not, drop it. You don't need to carry someone else's opinion as if it defines you. Of course, this doesn't mean you'll never feel sad or angry. Emotions are human. But the difference is this. Instead of letting those emotions control you for hours or days, you recognize them, process them, and then decide to move forward. You don't get stuck. Here's a practical step. Every morning, look at yourself in the mirror and say, "Today, I decide how I feel. Not my boss, not my partner, not the weather, me." The more you repeat it, the more natural it becomes. You'll notice moments where you catch yourself mid-emotion and say, "Wait, I get to choose here." That awareness is powerful. When you embrace this mindset, situations that used to crush you will barely touch you. Because at the end of the day, your emotions are your responsibility, and your peace is your decision. Your environment matters more than you think. The people around you shape your mindset, your energy, and even the way you see yourself. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, people who complain, gossip, or criticize, you'll eventually absorb that energy, whether you want to or not. But when you surround yourself with people who support you, challenge you to grow, and celebrate your wins, your entire life rises to a higher level. The truth is, you don't always get to choose every person around you. Maybe you have negative coworkers or even family members who drain you, but what you can choose is how much access you give them to your mind and your heart. Think of it like a diet. If you eat junk food every day, your body suffers. If you feed your mind constant negativity, your peace suffers. But if you choose better mental nutrition, uplifting conversations, inspiring friends, content that motivates you, you feel stronger, lighter, and more focused. Here's a practical step. Reduce the time you spend with people who drain you, and increase the time with those who inspire you. Even small adjustments make a difference. 10 minutes with someone positive can outweigh hours with someone negative. You can't always cut toxic people out, but you can control the dose. At the end of the day, your environment is either pushing you forward or pulling you down. Protect your space. Surround yourself with people who add value, not those who drain it. Not every battle is worth fighting. Yet so many women waste energy arguing with people who will never change, defending themselves against baseless criticism, or getting upset over comments that don't matter. The result? Stress, exhaustion, and zero progress. Here's the truth. Not everything deserves your attention. Sometimes the strongest response is no response at all. That's the power of indifference. Think of it this way: people who want to provoke you feed off your reaction. They want to see you upset, angry, or defensive. When you ignore them, you cut off their fuel. Your calm silence disarms them more than any comeback ever could. This doesn't mean you stay quiet when boundaries are crossed. Setting limits is essential. But there's a difference between defending your worth and wasting energy on petty conflicts. Indifference is about choosing where to place your energy wisely. Here's a practical example. When someone posts a rude comment on social media, you don't need to respond, argue, or prove them wrong. Delete, block, move on. Silence protects your peace. The same goes for real life. When someone tries to bait you into drama, smile, walk away, and keep your energy. Remember this phrase: what you ignore loses power, what you feed grows stronger. If you constantly feed negativity with your reactions, it only multiplies. But if you stay indifferent, it fades on its own. Indifference isn't weakness, it's emotional intelligence. It's saying, my peace is too valuable to waste on nonsense. The most powerful voice in your life isn't what others say, it's what you say to yourself. Your inner dialogue shapes your confidence, your resilience, and even how much external criticism affects you. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm not good enough, every negative comment from others will hit you like a punch. But here's the good news: you can reprogram that inner voice. Instead of being your harshest critic, you can train it to become your best ally. Start by noticing the words you use when you talk to yourself. Would you say the same things to your best friend? Probably not. So why say them to yourself? Here's a simple technique. When you catch a negative thought like, I always mess up, stop and replace it with a constructive one. I'm learning and improving every day. It doesn't have to be fake positivity. It just has to be supportive and realistic. The more you practice this, the stronger your inner voice becomes. And when your inner voice is strong, external criticism loses its power. Someone can call you lazy or incapable, but if your inner dialogue already affirms your worth, their words won't stick. Another practical step is journaling. Write down 3 affirmations every morning like, I'm capable, I'm resilient, and I respect myself. Repetition rewires your brain. Think of your inner voice as the filter that decides what gets in and what doesn't. If that filter is negative, everything hurts. If it's positive, almost nothing can break you. Reprogramming your self-talk is one of the fastest ways to build emotional strength. How many times have you stayed in an argument just to prove your point? You repeat yourself, raise your voice, and spend hours or even days replaying the conversation in your head, just because you wanted to win. The problem is, winning rarely feels good. It drains your energy and leaves you frustrated. Here's the truth. Being right doesn't always matter. Protecting your peace does. When you make peace your priority, you stop wasting time on arguments that don't actually change anything. You learn to recognize when a conversation is going nowhere and walk away without guilt. Choosing peace doesn't mean you let people walk over you. It means you're smart enough to save your energy for what truly matters. If someone refuses to understand your perspective, forcing them won't help. Instead of trying to win the fight, you can simply decide not to play. Here's a practical step. The next time you're in a heated discussion, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? If the answer is no, stop. End the argument, change the subject, or step away. That decision is not weakness, it's wisdom. Think about it. How many family dinners, relationships, or friendships could have been calmer if someone had chosen peace instead of pushing to be right? Walking away is not losing, it's choosing your long-term well-being. Every day you only have so much energy. Spend it on things that build you, not on endless debates. Choosing peace is the ultimate victory. So let's recap. You've learned 8 powerful psychological secrets that can protect your peace and strengthen your emotional resilience. Nothing is personal. Breathe before you react. Be the observer, not the victim. Decide how you feel. Surround yourself with people who add value. Master the power of indifference. Reprogram your inner dialogue and choose peace over being right. The common thread in all of these is simple. Your freedom doesn't come from controlling other people. It comes from controlling yourself, your reactions, your emotions, and your focus. The outside world will always have criticism, rejection, and negativity, but none of it can control you unless you hand over the keys. When you apply these tools, you stop living on an emotional roller coaster. You stay grounded even when life gets messy. You recognize that your happiness and your peace are yours to protect, and no one else gets to decide how you feel unless you allow it. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one of these secrets and start practicing it today. Don't just watch this video and move on. Choose one tool and apply it in real life. That's where real transformation happens. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 8 secrets do you feel you need the most right now? Tell me in the comments below. If this video helped you, hit like, share it with another woman who needs this message, and subscribe for more videos on emotional strength and self-growth.